Pre-slid. That's insane. Oh, all the way. Dang.
Oh,
What?
that does get headed.
Possession changes hands. The interception there.
Big.
Not a very good challenge, and he skips past.
Get in. Oh my gosh.
Cannot keep them down.
I'm injured because I'm probably out of stamina, dude.
Sliding. Give me that.
I'm actually not.
Oh, I'm gone.
Come on.
On your left.
He's wide open.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
oh, get in there. Let's go.
We need the time.
Oh, okay.
Just 2 minutes extra.
One more chance.
I'm on the ball.
Alright.
That's clutch.
Alright, just gotta stop him. Nice.
That's good. He's trying to call for it. Oh, he wasted his
Last chance.
advantage.
Let's go.
He wasted it. He tried to call him.
See some
He's grabbing New
progress with the
Jersey.
ball at his feet.
Oh my gosh.
Go.
Wow.
The directional backward. Shoot it.
amazing.
This time I didn't shoot it first post. This time I was like back post.
The
Finally, a goal
CDM
with
was
this guy.
trying to stop you on top of the enemy.
Hey everyone, this is Lesky here, back with another FIFA 21 Pro Clubs player build for you guys today. And in this video, we have for you a Yaya Touré player build. So for this Yaya Touré build, we listed him as a center mid. Decided not to go for a CDM since they're not as well rounded and they're mostly focused on defense and physical, which Yaya Touré has a lot on all of his cards. It's just the shooting's really weak and the dribbling and pace are really weak compared to the center mids. So just the center mids are definitely a lot more well-rounded for a Yaya Touré build because he was very well-rounded, good at defense, very strong, has really good physical stats, a really good dribbler, especially for being such a big man, great at passing, and he had some insane shooting ability. So to make this Yaya Touré build, I used Footbin to look up Yaya Touré's cards in the past FIFAs. Specifically, I looked at FIFA 15. He had, I think, 5 cards. He had an 86 rated card, his normal card, 87, an 88, a 90, and then a 91 card. So he had 5 cards. The lowest stats on all of his cards are his pace, which isn't too big of a problem since we are 6'2", 174 pounds. Like, we're not going to be crazy fast in the first place, but I will tell you guys that we did boost the pace up as fast as possible for this build at this height and weight. So we'll mostly be looking at his 88 rated card because anything higher than that is just something we're not going to be able to touch. And even some of the stats in his 88 rated card are hard to get just for like the amount of skill points they give us in pro clubs. But looking at the athletic page, our body type, we are 6'2", 174 pounds. I decided to go for 174 rather than 149 or like 119 or anything because Yaya Touré wasn't a skinny by any means, so you wanted to get at least a little bit of bulk so it actually kind of looks like a Yaya Touré build. And it also just helps with strength a lot too, get your strength up because center mids, like their base strength really isn't that good. So getting it to 6'2" and then going to 174 helps out with the strength so we can at least get a respectable strength number because Yaya Touré has a ton of strength on all of his cards. Footbin has Yaya Touré listed as 6'2", so that's perfect because this build is 6'2", and then also we're at 174, like I said, for the reasons that I listed earlier. So just make sure you're at 6'2" and 174 pounds with this build, and you're good to go, and we can move on to the skill tree now. Here on this Yaya Touré playstyle screen, as you guys can see, we're listed as a center mid, 6'2", 174 pounds, and right-footed. And then on this bottom right-hand side, we are an 88 overall for the build. Some of y'all's might be a lower rated overall, and then some of y'all's might be even a higher rated overall, which would be pretty impressive because you'd have to have more games than me, and I have now over 1,000 games played in pro clubs. So if any of y'all have a higher rating than 88, that would be very impressive, but some of y'all might have like an 87 or 86 overall. It just really depends on how many games you played and how many skill points you have, but I assume most of y'all have max skill points that are looking up this build. So basically don't worry about the overall. All that really matters is what you have on the skill tree. Starting with the physical page, we went all the way down to the bear claw, which gives us +3 strength. And like I said, on all of Yaya Touré's cards back in the day, he had like over 90 strength. Like I'm gonna look at his lowest rated card back on FIFA 15, his 86 rated rare gold card. He had 92 strength and 79 jumping. Like we're kind of opposite on that, just because like base stats, you already have really good jumping for a center mid, and then strength, like I said earlier, they just don't have that good of base stats for strength. Like if we did a CDM, you would have a lot more strength and defending. But like I said earlier, we wanted to be a center mid for this Yaya Touré build because it's a lot more well-rounded. So we had to do the best we could when it comes to the physical page. Like we could have added this extra jumping and strength, but it only gives you +1 strength. And like I said, Yaya Touré's jumping is lower than his strength. So we really don't want to bump the jumping up +2 and bump the strength only up +1. Maybe if you have some extra skill points, like if you are an innie, I would take off the second wind for sure. You're not going to want the second wind on. I would suggest just doing this. So you can have +2 more jumping, win those 50-50s, win those, maybe those headers in the air, like in the off corners, like clearances, or just scoring the headers, hopefully, even though center mids don't have the greatest heading accuracy. But then also you get +1 strength, which will at least get you closer to 90 strength, even though we're not going to be able to touch it. So that's definitely an alternative. If you aren't any, just take off the second wind and add it to the jumping focus. Then on the right side, of course, we went all the way down to the second wind. I've already mentioned that. So this will be it for the physical page. It's not crazy strong, obviously, looking at the stats, but you are 6'2", and you are 174 pounds. So you got a big body, and you can easily body and push people off of you. I've done it quite a bit with this build, and I've done it with a lot of other 6'2" builds. Just because you have a bigger body type, even though you don't have like crazy strength, you will be able to body them. But 82 strength is actually pretty solid for pro clubs. Most of the people you'll be coming up against won't even have 80 strength on their builds, so that's really not too bad. You don't really need to be worrying about that. But now we can move on to defending. With this defending section, what I was wanting is to bump it up a bit, but not bump it up crazy. Yaya Touré has always had like 80 defending on his base stats, like exactly 80, or maybe a little bit higher, but he's never had like crazy defensive stats. But they're always been pretty solid. So that's why we went all the way down to this defending focus right here, which will give you +2 interceptions and +1 slide tackling, and then all the rest of this stuff as well. And then on this right side, you want to go for this extra slide tackle, which give you +2 slide tackle for 1 skill point, and that'll get you up to 80 slide tackle. Just makes the numbers look nice. You got everything over 80 except for the defensive awareness, which is just a base stat for center mids, and we can't do anything about that, so we just have to settle for that. But like looking at Yaya Touré's 86 rated card in Ultimate Team on FIFA 15, he has 81 interceptions, 74 marking, which I believe is basically defensive awareness. So that's actually pretty accurate. 83 stand tackling, exactly what we have. 81 slide tackling. So he's got 1 slide tackling on us, which really isn't bad. And then, yeah, I mentioned 81 interceptions. So we have +3 interceptions on him. Stand tackling is the same. And then he has +1 slide tackling on us. So the defensive stats are actually pretty solid if you take into account that this is a center mid build and they don't have great base defensive stats. They're actually pretty solid for all being over 80. And you have those long legs and that big body type to body people and win the ball and push them off the ball and take it away from them pretty easily. So the defending isn't like crazy good or anything like that, but it definitely will do the job, and you should be able to stop a lot of people in their tracks when they're trying to dribble past you. So now on to the dribbling section, where we went for the 4-star skills. On FIFA, I think actually every FIFA I have played, Yaya Touré has only had 3-star skills. It would be really fun if he had 4-star skills. But I'm looking at this FIFA 15 version of Yaya Touré, and it has 3-star skills and 4-star weak foot. And that's really all I remembered when playing with Yaya Touré back in the day, is that he had the 3-star weak foot, 4-star skills. So we actually bumped it up to 4-star skills. We went for the 4-star, 4-star rather than the 3-star, 4-star. So that just helps you a little bit with dribbling, and just in little tight situations, you can actually do some nice little skill moves to get out of those areas in the midfield and to hopefully keep possession for your team. So like I said, we went down to these 4-star skills on the left, and then what we didn't get on this left side is the extra balance, the +2 balance and the +3. Yaya didn't even have over 80 agility or balance on any of his cards in FIFA 15. Like the one I'm looking at right now, his 88 rated one is 68 agility and 63 balance, and then the highest one his 91 rated one goes up to 73 agility, 67 balance. So basically, what I'm saying is that he just doesn't have a lot of agility and balance. So what I wanted to do is make those kind of even and get the balance down a bit. Like if you see, like we would have 79 agility, that's the max we can get for this body type, and then we'd get +5 balance to make that 84. I wanted to lower that, and then it also just helps for skill points, spreading it around in other places since this is a pretty well-rounded box-to-box center mid build. So actually taking that balance actually helps us out with like other things on the skill tree. So we don't have that extra balance, which is fine. You're not going to notice it too much. And it also just keeps it really accurate with the Yaya Touré build. So make sure you have that off. And then on this right side, we went all the way down and got these first 5 things. We got the ball control and the dribbling, which each give you +2 for only 1 skill point each. And then this one gives you +3, +2 ball control, and +1 dribbling for only 2 skill points. So that's really good, and I suggest putting those on, and that'll get you 89 ball control and 89 dribbling. We didn't get to go for the flare trait or the 5-star skills, obviously. It just costs a lot of skill points. We just can't afford to put all these skill points into dribbling. We got to spread them around. But despite not having any crazy agility or balance, the high ball control and dribbling makes it feel really smooth, honestly, when it comes to just dribbling by people. You have really good control of the ball, and then you have a big body type, so when people do come up against you, you should be able to retain the ball pretty easily. People will bounce off of you sometimes. And since you are big, you really do benefit from like just getting those little bounces and just bodying people off when they come close to you. So that's really nice to have, even though you don't have like crazy agility or balance. So this is it for dribbling, and now we'll move on to passing, which we actually did not have anything on passing, which is what I've done a lot with my center mid build since we want to spread the skill points around, like I've said a ton already in this video. And passing is just like one of those categories for a center mid where you don't really need to add much skill points unless you really want to be a crazy playmaker and just focus on assisting and getting really good passing ability. It's just easy to not put any skill points on it because you already have really good passing stats as a center mid. Like if we look at it, we have 91 vision, 81 crossing, 89 long passing, 86 short passing, and 82 curve. Like all those stats are really good for pro clubs. And when using this build, I made a lot of really good passes, and you really can't tell that there's no skill points added on to this build because the passing stats are already pretty crazy, especially that 91 vision. Vision is a very slept on stat in the passing category. I think it's the most important actually. So that 91 vision helps out a lot. And comparing that to Yaya Touré's 88 rated card on FIFA 15, he has 89 vision, 70 crossing, 90 short pass, 87 long pass, and 84 curve. So we're a bit off on some of those categories. We got like pretty good passing, and Yaya Touré has good passing as well, like on all of his cards. So that's really all we need. We don't need to be spot on with all the numbers. That's just really not possible. So the passing section is actually really good despite not having anything on it. So feel free to try and make some crazy passes to your teammates over the top and try and get them in behind one-on-one with the keeper because you definitely can make some crazy passes with this build. Let's move on to the shooting section now, which Yaya Touré was known for his shots in real life. He had some crazy shot power and some crazy long shots during his career. So we wanted to make sure we got those long shots up. And of course, since this is pro clubs, we're not gonna be able to get as much shot power as he has on all of his cards. Like he has like on his 88 rated card that I'm looking at right now, it's 90 long shots and 92 shot power. Like we got 93 long shots, but there's no way we can even get close to that shot power. Even if we add this shot power, like we're not gonna get close to 90. So we kind of just have to settle for the lower stats. And we went for this 4-star weak foot on the left. Like I said, we're going to go for the 4-star with this build. So that's really all you need to do on the shooting section. Just get that weak foot and then you're good to go. Just looking at the stats, I wanted to at least get 80 finishing. So that's what we did. And it would be nice to add even more because Yaya Touré has really good shooting stats. And it's just kind of upsetting that I couldn't get them even better. But we have to spread these skill points around for this build. And then on this last page, like the pace page, we went for full pace upgrade. So that costs quite a skill points. And that's actually necessary that you get that full pace since this is a big build and you were just not very fast. So we definitely needed that full pace upgrade. But just looking at the rest of the stats, we have 80 finishing, 81 shot power, 93 long shots, 80 volleys, 81 penalties. Nothing crazy, but really none of the stats are actually that bad. They're all just kind of average. And honestly, actually, this build is an 80 club build. I did notice a 6'2", 80 club build, which I think is pretty cool. We got 84 physical, 80 defending, 87 dribbling, 86 passing, 81 shooting, and 83 pace. So it's actually pretty cool that every single category is 80 or higher. Now on to the last section. Like I said, we went for that full pace upgrade. So there's really not too much to talk about when it comes to pace on this build. It's not the fastest. You are 6'2", so we kind of just have to deal with whatever pace we get. So we can't really expect to be crazy fast since we are pretty big. But what's cool about being 174 is that we get a lot of sprint speed, which I actually think is pretty good for a box-to-box build. Since you're going to be running up and down the field a lot, it's nice to have 85 sprint speed rather than like 85 acceleration and 81 sprint speed. Since it's a box-to-box build, you're mostly just going to be holding RT and like just sprinting up and down the field. So you're going to be utilizing sprint speed a lot more than acceleration when it comes to center mids. So especially for box to box. So it's actually quite nice that we are 174 pounds for the extra physical, like the extra strength, but also for the pace. Since 174 doesn't make us slower, it just actually just changes our pace stats. Like watch, I'll show you guys. So I'm at 174 right now. If we bumped it up to the next, or bumped it down to the next section, which is 149, it would go 83-83 rather than 81-85. So it's just kind of evened out. And then if we went for 119, I believe it'll have more acceleration than sprint speed, like that 85-81. So it'll be the exact opposite of 174. So that's kind of why we went for 174. And like I said, I think it's quite nice that we have actually more sprint speed than acceleration on this particular build. This will wrap up this Yaya Touré center mid build for you guys today. Please let me know in the comments if y'all do use this build, how it went for you. I would like to know that. And also, if you could hit that like button on this video and help me out with the YouTube algorithm, I'll greatly appreciate that. And even that subscribe button on my channel, that would be awesome, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Y'all have a great rest of y'all's day, and peace out.